am Sue Webley. Welcome to another episode of Inspire. Hey. Listen, it doesn't matter how I feel. Once I hear that intro, I get rejuvenated. Good morning, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Inspire. I am joining you today from Cincinnati, Ohio, from the ONA conference. And so if you joining me any amount of time, you know that this is not my normal background. I am joining from my hotel room, but Inspire had to go on. I'm so glad that you are here, that you are joining us. I see you coming in on our social media platforms. I see you coming in on Instagram. So again, if you see me looking that way, hey, Instagram folk, I see you coming in. Do me a favor and share. I'm so excited about our conversation that's getting ready to take place in just a little bit with some representatives from Drexell and Honeybees. I'm so excited about the work that this restaurant is doing. I want you to do me a favor and connect, follow, like, and subscribe. Building up the Inspire with Sue W platforms on Facebook and on Instagram. So please do me a favor and follow me there. If you want to follow me, just Sue A. Webley. I'm Sue A. Webley everywhere. You can follow me everywhere at Sue A. Webley. Also, listen, it's my dream, it's my desire to go live. Now, let me pause for a minute. If you hear jingle bells, that is Brookie deciding that she wants to play with her food. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but she has morning zoomies, and so she's playing with her food right now. So if you hear it, just a little bit of flavor to our broadcast this morning. But it's TikTok. I want to go live with Inspire on TikTok, and I'm building up my fan base there. So please do me a favor. If you're on TikTok, if you all have not done so already, follow me at Sue A. Webley on TikTok. Follow me, Sue A. Webley on TikTok. You can also head over to our website at www.getinspired.live. You can find out all about the show, all about me, and view all of our previous episodes. You can also subscribe to our newsletter. There's some things happening with Inspire that don't want you to miss. And so please do me a favor, head over to the website and hit that subscribe button and join our mailing list, our community over on getinspired.live. You can also listen later on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. We're Inspired with Sue on all of those platforms. So do me a favor, if you are joining us today and you want to, and you are so inclined, let me know what you're sipping on this morning. Let me know what you're sipping on. What are you drinking? What's in your cup? Is it coffee? Is it tea? Is it water? Is it apple juice, orange juice? Listen, if it's a little bit strong, something a little bit stronger, I'm not judging you. But I got coffee in my cup. I have a plain cup today. This is the hotel's cup, and so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the coffee in my cup this morning. So let me go ahead and take a sip of this. Tell me what you were sipping on, y'all. Now, This place, I wasn't gonna do it because I'm not getting sponsorship or advertising dollars from this coffee place. But if you want to know, if you are ever since Cincinnati, you want to know where this coffee came from, inbox me and I will tell you. But it is the best caramel macchiato with almond milk that I have ever tasted. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. I'll tell you. I'll tell you where it got it from if you want to inbox me. Hey, Wanston, how are you? I am well. It's so good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining. I see you over there, Judy, on Instagram. All the people that are coming in. Let me know where you are watching from and what you are sipping on. Now, if you just joined in, you just stumbled upon this broadcast, you don't know what is happening, who I am, what this show is about. I am Sue A. Webley. I am an author, a producer, and an award-winning minister. And I'm also the founder of Cara Solutions LLC, which is a full digital service agency that helps individuals and organizations navigate the virtual space with confidence. And so Inspire is a live interview style broadcast that is on a mission to encourage and empower and embolden you who are watching right now on social media, you who will catch this in the replay, you who will listen to it on the audio podcast. We want you to be able to create change in your personal life, your communities, and the world. And so, as our amazing guests, as our entrepreneurs, influencers, creatives, and others share their testimonies, their tips, and tools with us, we hope that you were inspired to elevate your mindset, pursue your dreams, and to do, as the late Dr. Katie Geneva Cannon put it so eloquently, the work that your soul must have. So that is who I am and what Inspire is all about. And if you know someone, if you or someone you know is on a mission to create change while inspiring others to do the same, we do want to hear from you. We want you to join us in a conversation in a future episode of Inspire. So once again, you can visit our website at www.getinspired.live. You can book your appearance. There's a guest intake form right on our website that you can fill out, and a member of our team will get back to you. We want you to come hang out, understand. Hey, listen, my brother is on, Dave Tony, and he is checking in from Milan. So I know, listen, that is support, okay? Dave and Chris are in Milan. It's in Milan's Fashion Week. Let me know, Dave. What time is it in Milan? What time is it there? Let me know what time it is. Hey, Ryan, RJ Love, good morning. You're having chia seeds with coffee and, is it fiber? Oh, and then all breakfast beverage. Okay. Oh, it's an afternoon. Okay, so it's 4:13 in Milan. Thank you. Yes. Oh, thank you so much for joining us today. Now, if you want to see that episode with Chris of Stilts Shoes, they're out there in Milan promoting Stilt Shoes, doing some wonderful things. And so you can head back if you are on YouTube, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Facebook, you can look at our video section to see those episodes. Or again, you can head over to the website to watch those episodes as well. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get into why we are here today. We're going to speak with some representatives from Drexell and Honeybees. We're going to be speaking with Sarah Hernandez and Marty Manning. And I'm so grateful that they were able to come to talk about themselves and to talk about the wonderful work that Drexell and Honeybees is doing. So we're shining a spotlight on that restaurant today, on their mission. There's this work happening through Drexell and Honeybees. It is a donation-only restaurant in Bruton, Alabama, and known for serving more than just food. Drexell and Honeybees is about restoring dignity and building community one meal at a time. And so Sarah and Marty are just two of the incredible people who help to bring this mission to life. And so they're going to share their personal stories and insights and how this remarkable place is changing lives. And as we prepare to meet them both, let's take a look at a Southeast Emmy Award winning short documentary about Drexel and Honeybees. And this was directed by Angel Carlo. Oh, let me just make sure. Get my stuff in order over here. Listen, Sue, get yourself together. All right, here it comes.
It doesn't matter how much money you make. It does not matter how much you have. There's someone out there with a lot less. And we're supposed to share.
Seeing the joy on some people's faces and seeing them enjoy the food. That's what give us more of a thrill than anything else, you know, just to help someone. If we feed 100 people in one day, one person come in that can't afford a meal, it made everything worthwhile. That's what we look forward to, just to help that one person that really needs it. My wife, she loved feeding people and helping people. She had this dream. We decided to open a donations restaurant to give everyone the opportunity to come in and eat and, you know, have a nice meal whether they have money or not.
When we first started this, we had no idea if it would work or not. I couldn't have done it without my husband, and this was a dream of mine. Angie, we need some red beans out here. Where they at? Both of us had experiences in being hungry. I remember smelling somebody cooking hamburgers, and I started crying. Tears just started rolling down my face. I just felt so alone, and I thought, wow, hunger is the loneliest feeling in the world. And so my husband, when he was in Vietnam, when they used to be on those patrols and run out of food, he said there were times they were hungry. Thanks to you, a family of 4 didn't go hungry today. That really touched my heart. I couldn't even think who it was, but that's what they said. We served over 90 people today, 90. If half of those people don't leave a penny in that, we still gonna be here tomorrow. When you can get it in your head and in your life where money does not rule you, you have made it to the pinnacle of life. That is amazing what you can do for other people and for the world and not charge it 1 red cent for it.
Food will bring people together, regardless where you come from. You can come from New York, France, Italy, Japan, or Russia. It don't matter. Everyone get the same treatment. And that right there, we're hoping that that'll bridge the gap with all of this tension that's in the world today. We all need to step up and start sharing what we have with ones that don't have, and sharing with each other, and trying to bring each other together instead of fighting each other. There's so much tension in the world now, everyone fighting against each other. And we need to remedy that because we're all on this planet together. And the only way that this planet is going to grow, and this nation is going to grow, is for all of us to join hands and work together, share what we have, live together, and take care of each other. I just strive to help one more person every day. And that's my prayer every day. Lord, give me strength to help at least one person that need it today. That's why I get up. That's why I do what I do.
Hey.
Hello.
All right. I'm muted. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I can
I
hear you
don't know.
now.
There's something funky going on in the studio today, and I can't see the comments, y'all. So if all right, so good. Yep, I just did that. Yeah, it's shifted in a funny, funky way. But we are going to we are going to have a wonderful time today. Thank you so much, Sarah and Marty, for joining us and Inspire this morning.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much for
inviting
having
us.
us.
Yeah, to be representatives of Drexel and Honeybees, and we're so grateful for the work that that they are doing in Alabama. But before we get to talk about how your role within the organization, within in the restaurant, what are you sipping on this morning, Marty and Sarah? What do you have in your cup?
I have a salted caramel mocha macchiato. It is
Ooh,
so good.
that sounds good. That sounds good. What are you sipping on, Sarah?
I wish it was something more interesting, but it's just water.
Listen, water is good too. Water is good
Yes,
too. Some of us need to drink a little bit more water.
me.
Listen, me too. Me too. I need to do better. There was a time that I used to say, well, there's water in coffee. Like you can't
That's
make
true.
coffee without water.
That's right.
It's in there.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I know we need to have just water by itself. Water by itself. Hey, Chuck Hunt, I see you checking in from Monroe, Louisiana. Good morning. Good morning to you. So, we'll start with Sarah. Sarah, tell us a little bit about before we get into your work with Drexel and Honeybees. Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about your life. What do you do outside of Drexel and Honeybees?
Outside of Drexel and Honeybees, I am studying for my master's in pastoral counseling with Liberty University. So I just started. I'm in my first semester of that term, and I'm loving it. And then I also serve in my church. I help lead the prayer team, and I help my dad around the house and a little bit of different kind of ministry things with him. But that's outside of Drexel and Honeybees. That's the main thing I do. Those things.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Marty.
Outside of Drexel and Honeybees, I run my own business and I sing, and I'm not very good at talking about myself, so that's about it.
Well, what's your business? Tell us about your business.
I make and sell jewelry, but for the past 10, 11 years, I do a lot of supplies all over the U.S. for other people to sell, make and sell their jewelry.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Yeah, I would love to see some of that jewelry once we, after the show. After the show, I want to see some of your stuff. I mean, you do want to support what you're doing, and so please, if you have a website or anything like that, drop that link in that private chat, or just let me know, and I'll drop it in the chat for the audience. So, thank you again for sharing a little bit about both of you. What inspired you? And we'll stay with Marty for this one, and then we'll go to Sarah. What inspired you to work at Drexel and Honeybees? Like, how did you hear about the restaurant, and what inspired you to work with them?
I heard about Drexel and Honeybees, I think it was on Facebook back in 2020. And ever since I was a little girl, I've always thought I wanted to get involved somehow with helping other people. Well, in 2022, I think it was Sarah who posted looking for a photographer. And it was midnight when I read it, and I'm like, well, they've probably found somebody by now. But I responded, and the next day she answered me, and I've been helping out where they need me ever since. And if you don't know anything about the restaurant, if you've never met Miss Lisa, really read about their mission. Mr. Freddie mentioned that it's about bridging the gap. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what they do. When you walk in the restaurant, you have people from all walks of life, from old to young, just sitting there, eating, interacting with each other, whether they know each other or not. And Miss Lisa inspires me to want to be better, to want to
Wow.
help more people.
Thank you for sharing, Sarah. So you are Miss Lisa's personal assistant.
Yes.
Assistant. So
Yeah.
how did you come to work with Miss Lisa and Drexel and Honeybees?
Well, I graduated in 2020, so in the middle of the pandemic, and I was trying to find a job everywhere. I was having such a hard time. So then at the end of the day, I heard about Upwork, which is a freelancing website. So
Mm-hmm.
I went up there, I made my profile, and then that's how I met Miss Lisa. She has a book called The Story of Drexel and Honeybees, and I helped her with the editing. And she really liked my work. And so from there, she asked me, will you come on as my personal assistant? And so I've been working with her ever since. But just
Wow.
like Marty says, she inspires you to want to be better and to serve others.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. And so, in your work with the restaurant, how would you say that the restaurant's focus, the focus of the mission, the vision of Drexel and Honeybees, how does it align with your personal values or beliefs about
Mhm.
serving others? Sarah.
I'd say it's all about servanthood, about serving somebody. Mr. Freddie said in the video that if we can make a difference for one more person, if we could just serve one more person. And I think just from the way I was raised and raised in the church, seeing my parents do ministry, just seeing like what Jesus is like, it's all about serving others, not being selfish, but giving your life away for the better of somebody else. And so that's exactly what Miss Lisa and Mr. Freddie have been doing for so many years. So it's easily aligned and easy for me to come and support them because I believe in what they're doing, not just in the specific way, but in the heart that we're all humans. We all need help. We're all walking the same journey. So let's serve one another.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That servanthood
Yeah.
is so vitally
Yeah.
important. Marty, you want to add to that?
Basically, what Sarah said, they are amazing representatives for how Jesus told us we're supposed to live. We're supposed to love others. We're supposed to put people first. In Matthew, when he talks about when you give someone water or feed them or clothe them, you're doing it unto me. And that's what they do. They are some of the most selfless people that I have ever met. And the fact that they are walking examples of Jesus, that it's amazing to me. And it aligns with what I believe we should be doing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, Marty, they still have that scripture right in the front when you enter the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
It says, if you're hungry, and like the scripture that she referenced, that when you feed the hungry, you're feeding me. And it's there when you enter the restaurant.
It
Mm.
is.
Mm-hmm.
You feed the hungry, you're feeding me. In the video, thank you both for sharing. In the video, I can't remember if it was Miss Lisa or Mr. Freddie that said hungry is the loneliest feeling in the world. I mean uh, that really yeah, that part
Yeah.
that touched me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's the loneliest feeling in the world. And we don't know who's hungry.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
We
And I
don't.
think there's an assumption that because we live where we live, that nobody goes hungry, right? Because we might see someone that looks good and dresses well and has, and has a home, is in housing challenge, right? That they're also not, that there's no like food insecurity,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That particular quote, like, what comes up for you when you hear that quote? Hungry is the loneliest feeling in the world. What comes up for you?
I actually remember reading it. That story is more in depth in her book. And when I read that line, I was just like, it's like not something that you think about very often. And just to realize how there's so many people who still in America that are hungry and they're lonely because just like you said, we think that in America nobody goes hungry, nobody's struggling with that. But then it's like an awareness, like, no, actually, that is a need in our nation. And it's very sad because we're living in America and there's people who are suffering from that. That's like a basic need that people should be able to have met. And so it really made me aware. And it just like, it shows where Miss Lisa's coming from. She's not just serving, but she relates. And that's why she gives everything that she has to the mission, because she knows what it's like to be there, how to be without hope, and how to suffer quietly. And so her model invites anybody in. They don't have to tell a story. She's not asking for proof of need. She knows that hunger looks like different in different circumstances. So she's just there to provide, you know, food, but also community. She feeds the need not just for physical hunger, but in community and dignity, respect, and so much more. I could go on.
Yeah. Marty, you want to add to that?
Yeah, it's not just when growing up, when I thought of people being hungry, I thought of people on the street, you know, homeless people. But it's not just homeless people. Miss Lisa and Mr. Freddie, they help countless elderly men and women who they may have their own homes, but they're on a fixed income. And in her book, she talks about them not being able to eat, some going without food, and they help not just with feeding the restaurant. She, in her book, she tells stories about how she will buy groceries for people and deliver it to them. And so it's amazing to think, just it's easy to get comfortable in our daily lives thinking everybody has, but they don't. And she's helping to remedy that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. So you are a volunteer, Marty. In what ways do you volunteer with the restaurant?
I take photos and videos for them when she needs me to. She recently started a cooking class, and every 2 weeks she opens up the restaurant free of charge to anyone that wants to come in the community, and they get to make whatever dish we've done. The last one was sweet potato souffle, and if you've never tasted Miss Lisa's sweet potato souffle, delicious. But we will go live during that, and I'll do the live stream for her. And also on her YouTube channel, we started a series, Letters from the Heart, where every Tuesday we do a video reading a letter that someone has sent, whether it be in the mail or in the donation box, about how Drexell and Honeybees has helped them. And I get the honor of putting the video together and doing the voiceover, just however she needs me to help.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. I see folks still coming in. Thank you for joining us today. We are in conversation with Marty Manning and Sarah Hernandez, representing Drexell and Honeybees. And so if you have a comment or a question for our guests today, please post them so I can be sure that they can respond before we end our time together today. Chuck says, you cannot judge a book by its cover of who is in need. We brag about being the greatest country, but we have the highest rate of poverty.
Exactly. You cannot judge.
Yeah, you cannot judge, and you just never know. And so I'm so grateful for the work that that Drexell and Honeybees is doing. So Sarah, it is a donation only model. Yes. Can you tell us a little bit about what that looks like, on a day-to-day basis? What does that look like, that donation only?
So there's no cash registers or suggested menu prices. The people simply walk in, and when you go to the front, you get your plate. It's a full meal. You have your dessert, your meal, and your drink, all homemade Southern cooked meals by Miss Lisa and her team. And then in the side, they have a donation area that's private. And she even added a little, like a little towel in the bottom of the box. That way no one can hear what you're putting in, even if it's nickels or things like that. So if people are able to donate or they want to, they can go to that private area and leave a donation. But she always says, I'm never watching, I'm never expecting them to give something. It's just they're available to them if they want to do that. So it's very private. It's not something that we expect. And just like she said in the video, she received a note that said, "Without you, our family of 4 would have gone hungry." She says, I couldn't tell you who gave me that, because that's not the heart behind it. It's just to serve the people. So it's just really easy. There's no proof of need. You just enter and you know that you're going to be received well. And like, there's a good meal for you. And if you're able to, at the end, you can leave that donation.
Wow, wow. And so that's if you're able to. If you don't have, if you don't have anything, you can still come in and get a full, get an amazing meal at Drexel and Honeybees. I'm so grateful for this work. Tell us, and I think just even sharing about that model, we can see how it upholds the guest's dignity. Right.
Yes.
That is a key component of the mission
Yes.
of Drexel and Honeybees. And because a lot of, folk are ashamed when they're unable to feed themselves, when they're unable to provide for their families. And the way that you've explained that this donation model is set up, and the ways that individuals can leave a donation, it's private, right? They're not laid bare, right? They're not naked in front of everybody. No one knows how much they've given, or if they could give it all. And so in my experience, I've seen ministries kind of, when they go out, they do outreach, and they have cameras in people's faces, right? They want you to see what they are doing, right? And I don't agree with, if someone is housing challenged, someone's food insecure, and you're giving them a meal, having a camera in their face is not. It's really, it becomes less about them and less about their dignity and more about you wanting to show what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right. And not to say that it's not good for us to see video, Marty, right? To see photos, to see what to learn about the wonderful work that the restaurant is doing. But it is, from what I've seen anyway, it's on a broader scope. We're not singling out individuals to say, see, we helped this person.
Yes, no. The only time we would, and I don't like the term for this example, singling out, but the only time we really focus on a particular individual is if they're coming from out of town and they're like, hey, we want our picture taken with our pin map, or because we want our picture taken with Miss Lisa, we'll do that. But as far as just singling out, your everyday people that come in, we don't do that. I can't tell you who goes to the donation box and who doesn't. The pictures are normally like just aerial views. What for the day, that sort of thing. But singling out people, that's never a good thing. So we try not to do that. We'll have people that say they want to do a video to post to social media to encourage others to come by Drexel and Honeybees or volunteer or something like that. And we'll take videos then, but just to single out people, no, not at all.
I've seen that happen too many times with other ministries, and it's just, I always left a bad taste in my mouth. Right?
That's a pet peeve of mine. Like, don't do that.
Don't do that. Like, you
don't need the heart.
It is not. It is not. And what's the scripture? That your left hand shouldn't let your right hand know what it's doing, or something like that.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Like, there's a way to. Right. There's a way to be of service. There's a way to be the hands and the feet of Jesus. Right. And to serve serve humanity, serve the community
Mm-hmm.
um, without diminishing someone's
Exactly.
dignity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are people that will come in the restaurant and they'll see we'll take in pictures, and it's not a everyday taking pictures. We did it
Mhm.
for Mother's Day, and then Bruton has a blueberry festival, and we did a special event for that. So that's normally when we take pictures of, the events. But even when we're there, if a person, you can tell when they don't want the camera in their face, and some of them will
Yeah.
say, "Leave me out of the picture," and I'll do my best to just take a picture without them in it,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
they're not embarrassed or
Yeah.
for whatever reason. Some just don't like their picture taken. This is like
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. 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 We need a Drexel and Honeybees in every state.
Yeah, we do
That's the
definitely.
dream. Yes.
um. Oh, so
Actually,
yeah.
oh, go
Go ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Um, since we're talking like about this, could I share the conversation that led to this idea for Miss Lisa to start it?
Oh, please, please do.
So before she had a restaurant, she had a Meals on Wheels program. So every day she would drive about 100 miles back and forth to go and deliver meals to senior citizens. And one day she was talking to a lady that she went to with me on a weekly basis. And she was giving her meal, and they were talking about their plans for the weekend. Miss Lisa shared that she had the plans to go with her friends to have some coffee on Saturday. And back then, Saturday, a cup of coffee was about 62 cents. And she noticed that when she shared that, the lady's countenance just completely changed. And she asked her what was wrong. And the lady told her, "Well, I wish that I could do that I could go out with a family member, with a friend, and have a cup of coffee, something so simple like that." And it dawned on Miss Lisa, wow, there's so many people who don't have that opportunity to go out and eat at a restaurant, much less a coffee, like a cafe, to have a coffee. And so she told her, "Oh, well, whenever you'd like to go, I'd love to like pay for you and a friend to go and enjoy a meal." And then she shares in the book that after that, she noticed the next week that that lady dropped out of the meal list, and she was heartbroken. She couldn't understand why. And then a friend of hers told her, "I think it's because she felt singled out." And so we're talking about that. And so for
Yeah.
Miss Lisa, she was like, "Wow." It really brought to her awareness how, just like you said, people are ashamed sometimes to ask for help. Not that they have to feel, but when we can't provide for ourselves, it makes us feel less than.
Yeah.
And so that's what inspired that model, that it would be donation only, and everything would be about helping in the best way that we could, helping them maintain their dignity. And so you see, like, even at the heart and at the core of the mission is she realized how if we single out people, it limits how much you can help them. But if
Yeah.
you make it where it's inclusive and you're not singling them out and everybody's getting the same treatment, as in everybody's welcome to the restaurant, we're not looking for proof of need, then more people are more willing to receive that help. And so I really love the way everything's been thought out, because she wants to have as many people who will come receive the help.
Yeah. 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 Thank you for sharing that. Oh, we're so grateful for Miss Lisa and the
Yes.
experiences that led her
Yes.
to eventually starting Drexel and Honeybees. We are going to take a really quick break so that Sarah and Marty can get a sip of water, a sip of water and the coffee. And again, if you have I see a question that has come in. So when we get back, we'll respond to that question, and we will continue our conversation with Sarah and Marty. So thanks again for joining us today. I want to give you the opportunity to connect, follow, like, and subscribe. Again, we're inspired with Sue W on Facebook and on Instagram. Please give me a follow over there. If you're on TikTok, just look for Sue A. Webley. I'm building up my numbers over there so that we can eventually go live on TikTok with Inspire. You could also head over to our website at www.getinspired.live. You can find out all about the show, some information about me, and you can watch our previous episodes on the website. And you can also subscribe to our newsletter. There's some things happening with Inspire that we don't want you to miss out on. So please do us a great big favor and subscribe. You could also listen later on Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. We're Inspired with Sue on all of those platforms. Are you someone you know on a mission to create change while inspiring others to do the same? If so, we want to hear from you. We want you to join us in conversation on a future episode of Inspire. Again, you can head over to the website at www.getinspired.live to book your appearance today. You can fill out your intake form right on the website. It is just that easy. So do us a great big favor. Go ahead, fill out that intake. We want to see you. We want to be in conversation with you on a future episode of Inspire. Also, I'm going to do this every single Saturday until our dear Pastor Yanni gets a kidney. So Yanni is looking for a kidney donor. And so she's in search of potential donors who are fairly healthy, have the blood types A or O, and have the courage to commit to surgery and help save her life. She would love to share the safety measures with you. If you are interested, please reach out to her and her family at peacepeopleinc@gmail.com. That's peacepeopleinc@gmail.com. That's the way that you could contact Yanni and her family directly. Or you can head over to EmeryLivingDonor.org, fill out the survey, and enter her name, which is Ayana Davis. Listen, we do this in community with each other, right? And many of us have followed Yanni for a very long time. She has been a guest on Inspire more than once. We've shared her and her music. And so as a community, we are gathering together to help her get the kidney that she needs. So again, email peacepeopleinc@gmail.com to contact her and her family directly, or you can head over to EmeryLivingDonor.org, fill out the survey, and enter her name, Ayana Davis. So we are going to get back into our conversation with our guests today as they talk about Drexell and Honeybees. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us again on Inspire, Sarah and Marty. So there is a question. Pastor Ann says, "Love this kindness in action." Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I see you on Instagram. I haven't waved to Instagram in a minute. Instagram is over there on my other screen. Hey, Instagram. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. So Reverend Dr. Andrea Vassell says, not-for-profits who depend on donations and grants often have to do pics and videos to document and inspire others to give. I tend to ask people if they are okay with being in pics and videos. Please share your opinions.
Yes, we will ask their permission, and if they seem hesitant, you don't always have to ask. Sometimes I can look at a person and tell they just don't want the camera in their face. And so we always ask and make sure and do it in a way that nobody feels like they're singled out.
Yeah.
And while we may take pictures of the guest eating a meal, it's never focused on just one person unless we have their permission. You get regulars in there that want to be in front of a camera, or they see it and they'll pose for you. But we try our best not to single anyone out. We will have guests that want a picture taken, like I mentioned earlier, because they want. Some of them will say, "We want our friends back home to see we finally made it to Drexell and Honeybee." So we'll take their picture. Or they'll want to. There was one lady. Her husband asked her, "Where do you want to eat for your birthday?" You can go anywhere you want to go, and I'll take you for your birthday. She says, "Well, I want to go to Drexell and Honeybees." He said, "Okay, baby, we'll take you." Well, I think it was like a 2 to 4 hour drive. He didn't know to begin with. So he took her and she got to meet Miss Lisa, and
Wow.
he did an interview for Miss Lisa because he wanted to do I'm at a loss for words. He wanted to explain how the place impacted them and have their picture taken. So you get guests that they want to be in front of a camera, but we never push it. We never single them out because the restaurant is ran with dignity, and we want to make sure that everybody feels safe and accepted and important. And we never want to shed light on anybody's misfortune. But it's not just people that don't have money that come in the restaurant. We get rich, we get at every walks of life. And there are some who they simply like the restaurant and they want to be in front of the camera so they can encourage others to donate and check us out.
Yeah. That permission is key.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
permission is key.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, so both of you have shared some wonderful things about the restaurant. How have you seen outside of what takes place inside of the restaurant, in terms of um, providing a hot meal, right? How else do you see Drexel and Honeybees impacting the lives of those who visit?
I actually have a story. There was a man who was 80% blind, elderly man. One of the volunteers saw him living under a bridge near the restaurant, and she invited him to come eat. She volunteered her time and gave a bunch of non perishables that he could eat when the restaurant wasn't open. I was in the restaurant one day when he was there, and they went to hand him something to drink, and he couldn't see it right in front of him. So he was really blind. He needed help. Miss Lisa and Mr. Freddie found out about his situation, and they bought him a camper and was able to put it on a camping lot in Bruton and moved him into it. People in the community donated all the furnishings that he would needed: cooking pots, pans, food, toiletries, and moved him into his camper. Because of that, he started going to church. He gave his life to Jesus because they showed him the love of Jesus. And that touched my heart big time, just to see him get the help that he needed and his reaction. And it's things like that that they do. Miss Lisa has given people money to get their heat back on. She puts people up in hotels. And it's not just about feeding the need for food. She also feeds the spiritual need and helps in areas that they need help.
Thank you for sharing that, Sarah. You have a
I
story
think
to share?
I think she's really inspired the community, and you can see the way the community comes behind her to support what she's doing. There's people who they specifically have gardens at home to grow produce to donate to her, or they have an idea. What if we start? She calls it the mother hen shelf, and that's right now where they have canned food for their pets, and the community sees these things and they want to be a part of it. They have a bookshelf where people can donate books, and you go and take a book, and you just see the community really loves what she's doing. They're so inspired and they want to get involved. So I feel like she's not just making a difference for the people in there, but around the city of Bruton. Even when I'm sending emails to different places around the city, telling them about events that we have, of course, they say, of course, we'll do anything to support Miss Lisa, because they're all in. They see the integrity and the genuineness behind everything that she does. And I think that she also inspires so many people from across the nation. They're coming, it's become now like a destination place. It's something on people's bucket list that they're so inspired, and it reminds us that there's still hope to be had in humanity. People are still helping each other. And so people will come with the intention to meet her. to have a meal, and then they leave their donation. Because we know that the people in Bruton, not everybody's able to leave a donation. But the people who are coming from out of town, they're really able to sow back into the restaurant and help it keep on going. And now we have somebody who has met with Miss Lisa for a few times, and now she's working on starting her own donations only restaurant where she's at. So you see how there's people impacted in big ways, maybe little ways, but I believe that to nobody, it's not just a little thing. It's always something big. It always means something to that person.
Yeah.
Everybody's being impacted across the board.
Yes, I love it. I love it. How have you changed? How have you changed since starting to work with Miss Lisa and Drexell and Honeybees? So you can go ahead, Sarah.
I would say that I no longer underestimate like the little things. Like, you know how it says, I think it was an acronym. It was like ARC. It says a random act of kindness. Like little acts of kindness, they're not little. To somebody, it can make a huge difference in their lives because everybody has a story that's like an untold story. We don't know exactly what they're going through, but little things, even just like acknowledging them, saying hi, doing whatever you can. If you see a need and you think maybe that's small, that will make a big deal in their lives. But if you move on that and you help and you serve, it makes a big difference for people. And so I don't underestimate anymore what a little act could be for somebody, and also just like being willing to go that extra mile. I think sometimes it takes us getting out of our shell to help somebody, to serve them. And so now I'm more willing to do that because I think sometimes we could think, oh, I don't want to bother them, or I don't want to like get in their way. But you know, some people we want to feel seen. We want to know that somebody cares about us. And so feeling unashamed to do that and to reach out to a person, because you never know the impact that it can make, but not just for them, but for people after. Because we've seen people who she serves in the restaurant and then they get back up on their feet and now they're giving back into the restaurant so somebody else can help. So don't underestimate your small acts of kindness.
I love that. I love that. How have you changed, Marty?
As Sarah said, getting out of your shell. By nature, I'm shy. And being at the restaurant has really encouraged me to get outside of my bubble, get outside of my comfort zone, and talk to people, smile at them, to really try to look at them and remember that's a person Jesus died for. They have a heart, they have a soul, they need to feel seen, loved, important. And it's really inspired me to just get out of my comfort zone. Don't be so focused on my own little zone and pay attention to the people around me. That 1 minute of being uncomfortable and shy is worth getting past to impact somebody else. And I've learned that reaching out to people, that shyness is nothing. It eventually goes away. And being able to be around Miss Lisa and the people that she helps every day, she's just inspired me to push past that. It's not about me. It's not about my feelings and emotions. It's about people needing to know they're loved.
Wow. Go ahead, Sarah.
I think it just comes back down to we're all human.
Yes.
I like how Mr. Fetty put in the video that we're all just trying, we're all going in the same direction. We're all just trying to survive. We're trying to do our best. And when we remember that, it makes it like, it just bridges that gap. We're not in competition. We're not on different levels. At the end of the day, we all have the same needs that need to be met. We all are just trying to get to the next day and build for our futures. And so remembering that and supporting others in that, it becomes easier when we remember that perspective.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If someone wants to volunteer at Drexell Honeybees, how would they go about doing that?
They can reach out to us either in person with Miss Lisa or Marty at the restaurant, or if they're from out of town, they could send a DM on our Facebook, Instagram page. It's at Drexell and Honeybees, or they could email me at info@drexellandhoneybees.com. will connect them.
Okay.
She's actually
And
needing. I'm sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Marty.
She is in need of more volunteers right now.
Okay, y'all hear that? If you are in Alabama and you can volunteer, they are in need of more volunteers over at Drexel and Honeybees. As we get ready to close out, Marty, tell me what your dream is for the future of Drexel and Honeybees and your work with them.
My dream, I just to be of any help to me so that I can. I'd love to be a part of the mission that she has to see it grow and help more people. And my dream, my desire is to represent Jesus, and whatever his plan is for me working with her is what I want to do, and however she needs help is how I would like to help her. That would be my dream with Drexel and Honeybees.
Yeah, thank you. Same for you, Sarah. And there's a question that came in. So same for you. And then I'm going to ask that last question.
Okay. I think my dream with Drexel and Honeybees is to help Miss Lisa accomplish her dreams. So I know she has a vision to see more, not Drexel and Honeybees, but more only restaurants around the states. So I want to be able to help her connect with people and make a system that's replicable so that other people can put into play in their states. But also she has a dream to write a cookbook. So I want to help her be able to do that. I feel like she's given so much that my drive is to serve her because she's serving everybody else. So I think that's my dream.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for sharing. There is a question that came in. Brookie is, I don't know what's happening. She's crying and carrying on. Brookie, see, it's a good thing this is my child. Come here. I guess you could be on the show now. Come on. All right. So Pastor Ann asks, are they connected? Are you guys connected with Reverend Dr. Heber Brown and the Black Church Food Security Network?
No, we're not. Mm-mm.
Okay. I think it would be a good network to get connected to. Dr. Heber Brown is amazing. And so we'll make sure you get information to get connected with them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have anything to say, Brookie, since you were making so much noise? No? Okay. Well, again, the both of you, thank you so much for joining me today on this Saturday morning to talk about the amazing work that Drexel and Honeybees doing in the community. We're so grateful for Miss Lisa and Mr. Freddie for saying yes to that particular call, because it is a call. We're grateful that they said yes to it. Of course, myself and everyone else from Inspire, all of our viewing and listening audience, we wish the Divine's continued blessings on Drexel and Honeybees, and that it continues to do the work that it was created to do. And so we're grateful. We're grateful again for your time with us. Y'all, we are at the end of another episode of Inspire. Thank you to those of you who joined us on Facebook and on LinkedIn and on YouTube and on Instagram. We're so grateful that you show up every Saturday morning. Inspire could not be what it is without you. And so thank you again for hanging out with us. Dave and Christopher, thank you for joining us from Milan. You could listen. I'm sure you could be chilling out, but you decided to tune in, and and I'm happy about that. Thank you for your support, y'all. We will be back again next week, and until then, I want you to stay lifted. I want you to stay motivated, and most of all, I want you to stay inspired. God bless, and I'll see you next week.